We are starting off with question number 1 on the Trig Test Review 2 worksheet. Question number 1. Using triangle ABC, name the sides. Name the sides? Well, we know, class, that this side is always going to be the hypotenuse. AB in this triangle is the side that doesn't touch the right angle. That's going to be the hypotenuse. But the names of the two legs are going to depend on our reference angle. If our reference angle is angle A, then side AC is adjacent to A because it touches A, and side CB is opposite. So the opposite to angle A is going to be CB. Adjacent leg to angle A is going to be AC. And the hypotenuse never changes. That's going to be, in this case, AB. Now if our reference angle changes to angle B, the hypotenuse doesn't change, but now the side opposite to angle B is now AC. And the leg that is touching angle B is never the hypotenuse. That's always going to stay the hypotenuse, AB. It's the leg that is touching angle B, or reference angle B, and that's CB, which is the side that's adjacent or touching reference angle B. Okay, let's do the second part of this. Is using the same triangle, find these trig ratios. So what is going to be sine of angle A? Remember, when you go through these problems, all you do is you remember so, ka, toa. We know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse. We know cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. All we have to do is figure out what are the side lengths. Well, we know the hypotenuse on our triangle is always going to be AB, which is 25. So I can go through all these and just say, every time I see the hypotenuse, I'm just going to write 25. Hypotenuse always shows up as the bottom of our fraction for sine and cosine. It doesn't show up at all for tangent. So there's our hypotenuse. Alright, well, if we're looking at reference angle A, sine of angle A, opposite of angle A is CB, which is 24. I'm just going to do the sine of B. So if our reference angle is B, opposite of angle B is AC, which is 7. Now let's look at cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent side to reference angle A is 7. And if you look at your triangle, the adjacent side to angle B is going to be 24. Again, I want you all to see this relationship. You need to know this relationship for the test. If you know that sine of angle A is 24 over 25, then cosine of the other angle, cosine of the other reference angle, which is angle B, is going to be the exact same value. And if you know that sine of angle B is 7 over 25, if I asked you what cosine of angle A was, you'd know it's the same thing. Sine of one reference angle will always equal the cosine of the other reference angle. And 24 divided by 25, put that in your calculator, you're going to get 0.096. And 7 divided by 25, you're going to get 0.28. All I have to do now is tangent. Well, I can actually just look right at my answers above. Tangent of angle A, well, opposite of angle A is 24. And adjacent of angle A is 7. And then for tangent of angle B, opposite of angle B is 7, and adjacent of angle B is 24. Now notice the difference between these two. Again, you need to know this. Tangent of one angle is the reciprocal of the tangent of the other reference angle. So if I tell you the tangent of angle A is 24/7, you should be able to know that the tangent of angle B will be the reciprocal, 7/24. 24 divided by 7 is 3.429, rounded to 3 decimal places. And tangent of angle B, rounded to 3 decimal places, is 0.292. All right, I would suggest you then try letter numbers 3 and 4 on your own. I'm going to go ahead and quickly write those answers for you. I'm not going to go over the explanation. You should be able to figure these out on your own. Before I do this, though, I should have showed you, yes, I'm always going to label my hypotenuse because that never changes. The hypotenuse is JL. Okay, and this is LK. Alright, remember when we go through all of our sine and cosine, if we're given the 3 sides, we don't have to use our calculator. We can actually just find the opposite side and hypotenuse. This is opposite hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent hypotenuse. I should follow my own advice, and whenever I get a trig problem, I write SOHCAHTOA so I remember what the trig ratios mean. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. And if you look at this triangle, opposite of angle J is 16, and the hypotenuse is 65. That means cosine of angle L will be the exact same thing. And then if I look at sine of angle L, opposite of angle L is 63. Hypotenuse didn't change. And I know that cosine of angle J is going to be the exact same value. And then tangent of angle J, opposite of angle J is 16, adjacent is 63, and then we know that tangent of angle L is going to be the reciprocal. I can check those values, but I know it's going to end up being the reciprocal. Let's put these numbers in 0.246, so that means this has to be 0.246. Sine of angle L is approximately 0.969. Cosine of angle J will be the same value. And 16 divided by 63 is 0.254. And 63 divided by 16, or the reciprocal, is 3.938. So that covers questions 1 through 3. Let's go to question number, 1 through 4. Let's go to question number 5. Find the following trig ratios in your calculator or trig table. Remember, this is pretty basic stuff. We're just going to, in our calculator, type in sine of 18, and you're going to get 0.3090, so 0.309. Probably the part that I'm really testing you on here is rounding to 3 decimal places. Check the rest of them, pause the video, and then check your work and see if you are getting these values. 0.906, 2.356, 0.174, 0.731, and 57.290. Now, just to keep in mind, tangent can get to be a very big number. Your sine and cosine will always be less than 1 because the hypotenuse is always the biggest side, but tangent can get small and also can get very, very large. Okay, question number 6 and 7. If sine of angle A, so sine of angle A is 36/85, what is cosine of angle B? Well, we know that sine of angle A and cosine of angle B will always be the same. And if you, so I know the answer is going to be 36 divided by 85. If you want to check that out, just take a look. Since sine is opposite over hypotenuse, that means our hypotenuse is 85. And opposite of angle A is 36. Well, looking at reference angle B, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. It's the same number. And then if tangent of angle A is 36 over 77, you can see this, opposite over adjacent. What's tangent of angle B? Well, it's the same numbers, only it's the reciprocal. So be aware how fast these are to answer. It's the reciprocal, which means it's going to be 77 over 36. All right, same questions here, just to test your knowledge. Cosine of angles S and sine of angle W on this triangle are going to be the same value. And tangent of angle S and tangent of angle W, they are going to be reciprocal values. So 16 divided by 9. And again, if you want to check your thinking on that, just go ahead and label the sides. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. That means the hypotenuse here is 26, and the adjacent side to angle S is 16. That means the sine of W is opposite 16 over hypotenuse. And sorry, I labeled that wrong. It wasn't 26, it was actually 27. And then if you know tangent of angle S is 9 over 16, then tangent of W is going to be opposite over adjacent, 16 over 9. All right, let's wrap this up. Question number 10 and 11. Number 10, in the diagram, the angle of elevation is 63 degrees. It's already labeled. The distance from you to the tree is 52 feet. What is the estimated height of the tree? Well, class, we're going to be looking for a missing side of our right triangle, which means we're going to be using trig, which means we always start with so. Katoa. My reference angle is going to be 63. And that we can label our sides. This is the hypotenuse. The 52 is adjacent to 63. H is opposite. And obviously we're trying to find H, the height of the tree. So I'll just abbreviate this or write this down. What do I know? I know adjacent. What do I want? I want the height of the tree, which is opposite. Adjacent and opposite means I'm using tangent. Tangent of 63 is going to be opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. Opposite is our unknown side. Adjacent is our known side. This is an x on top situation, which is going to be multiplication. X equals 52 times tangent of 63, which you should be able to put that in your calculator. It's approximately 102.1. And this is a word problem. It should give a sentence answer. The height, I'm going to write this one out, of the tree is approximately, and I'll just abbreviate that, 102.1, and our unit of measure is feet, 102.1 feet. Alright, next one. Architect is standing 84 yards away from a building. If the angle of elevation from his feet to the top of the building is 52 degrees, how tall is the building? This sounds very similar to the last problem, except for they want us to sketch out this diagram. So let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and draw the ground. Let's put a building here, just a little simple building. And we're going to go ahead and standing 84 yards away from the building, and then we have an angle of elevation. So I'm going to draw an angle of elevation. And let's label that. So I've got 52 degrees, and we are standing 84 yards away. And looks like they're asking us how tall is the building? Alright, we've got a reference angle of 52. This is the hypotenuse. If that's our reference angle, then 84 yards is adjacent and the height of the building is opposite. So let's go ahead and set up our trig. SOHCAHTOA, our reference angle is 52. Again, we know adjacent. We want opposite. Adjacent and opposite is tangent. So our trig function is going to be tangent of 52 degrees is equal to opposite, which is our unknown. Remember, opposite's on top. Adjacent is our distance from the building, which is 84. This is an x on top situation, which is multiplication. X is equal to 84 times tangent of 52 degrees. 84 times tangent of 52 is approximately 107.5, and our unit of measure here is in yards. I'm going to check that real quick. So 84 times tangent of 52. Yep, 107.5. So again, to get full credit on this worksheet, you need to write out this answer as a sentence. The height of the building is approximately 107.5 yards, or you could say the building is approximately 107.5 yards tall. Make sure you write this as a sentence right here. So put your sentence right here below that answer to get full credit. All right, there are questions 1 through 11. The next video will go to the back.